Hello everyone, today we will spend time in our terminal and we will be discussing a WordPress command line interface, WP CLI. 2 days ago I published updates for Structeezy and OxyProps, and these updates introduced WP CLI commands for the plugins. So today we will scratch the surface and have a look at what WordPress CLI can do to help you as a web developer or as an agency to be more productive and more efficient. Okay, so if we go to WP CLI website, and you will find links, all needed links in the video description. By scrolling down, you will find the installation instructions. There are several ones, but you can use the recommended one, which is by directly downloading the archive. So let's copy this line, paste it in my terminal, and that's done. WP CLI is installed. We can check that everything works with this command. And if you get an output like this one with WP CLI, at the time of recording, the latest version is 2.10, it means that it's working on your system. And then if you want, like I did, to use WP CLI with the simple WP command, you may need to change the authorization on the file and to move it in one of your declared paths. So you can execute these commands. Okay, so now we are done, and let's clear my terminal, and WP is recognized as a command. So I'm in my website directory. That's where I store all my work in progress websites. And what we can start to do is to create a new WordPress website. So first, let's create a directory. I create a directory that's called YouTube WP CLI, and I cd into this directory. So now I'm in my new directory. There's nothing inside of it. You can see I use the LA command. That's not an official command. It's a short for ls-la. And my directory is empty. So first thing I need to do is to download WordPress core files. So the command for this is wp core download. And now the command line is downloading the source, and it's done. Checking my directory, you can see that I now have the full WordPress files available. Actually not full, something is missing. We are missing a WP config. So the next step is to create a WP config, WP config create. And as I never remember all the parameters I have to pass to the command, I will use -- prompt. So the command line will ask me for the parameters. So first it needs a database name. So let's use YT-WP CLI. A database user, I will use root. You never do this in production, but we are in a development and demonstration environment. My password will be blank. The host will be the default one, localhost. My database prefix will be WP _. Car set default. The local will be the default. Keep salt, keep check. And I want it to be secure. And that's done. My config file is created. So now that I have my file, a config file, I need a database. This will be WP DB create. Done. The database was created. Let's continue with WP. Now that we have the files, the config, and the database, we need to install the site. So that will be WP core install. And once again, with the prompt parameter, my site URL will be ytwpcli.test. I'm using Valet as my local dev environment. Yours might be different. My site title will be my new site. The admin user will be admin. Once again, never do this on production site. My password will be password. My email will be admin@domain.com. The locale will be the default one. And that's done. We have a WordPress website. I should be able to try it. So let's have a look. And yes, we have a brand new website available. Let's log into the admin area. We will not work in the admin area, but that's just for checking. Actually, the purpose of WP CLI is that you can do anything you could do from the WordPress dashboard from your terminal. So any command can be done from the terminal. So let's get back to our terminal. I have a brand new website, but there's nothing installed. Maybe what I want to do is to install a plugin or several plugins. You can do this with WP plugin install, and then you need to give the slug of the plugin. So let's install one I use on nearly every site, which is Metabox, and I will add the flag activate. So it's installed and activated immediately. So it's downloading the plugin, installing it, activating it, and it's done. The plugin was installed. Let's have a look at our plugins. And we have Metabox installed and activated. By default, WordPress installs other plugins. Maybe you don't want them, so you can WP plugin, delete, hello, and Akismet. Both plugins were deleted. We can check, and we only have Metabox installed and activated. The name of the plugin you give is the slug, so it's not always easy to remember the slug of the plugin. So if you need to, you can search for your plugin slug with WP plugin search. And okay, install Metabox, but maybe you like advanced custom fields. What's the slug for advanced custom field? I don't know, maybe you know, but I never know. So let's search for ACF. And the CLI is searching the WordPress repository and suggesting me this one. So advanced custom fields, the slug is this one. So you can use directly the slug to install your plugin if you need it. You can install plugins in several ways. You can install from the WordPress repository directly with the slug, but you can also install from a zip file, either from your local file system by providing a path to the zip file, or from an online URL by providing the URL. So for example, let's say that I want to install bricks on my site. I can WP theme install, and then I could provide a path to the bricks zip file I downloaded from my user account. I could also provide directly a link with the download link I could get from my Bricks user account. To make things simple for me, I did save the link to my local environment, so I can use a local variable, and I will use Bricks zip, and I want to activate it. Let's have a look on our site, and Bricks was installed. I just have to activate my license. So I could activate the license from the dashboard. Bricks, unfortunately, doesn't have any WordPress CLI command, but you still can activate your license if you want, because you can WP option add, and we add the option Bricks _ license _ key with the value being your license key. So of course, on the video, I will blur my license key, but let's proceed and refresh our WordPress site. This time, Bricks is active. Okay, and now with the same way, I can install OxyProps and Structeezy with their command lines. So Structeezy is installed. So we have installed Bricks and Structeezy with the URL to download the zip. Let's install OxyProps with the path to the local file, WP plugin install. And I will not use the suggested variable that will download the plugin. I will use the paths, and my files are stored, for example, in my Bricks blueprint. Okay, it's installed the package. So now I can WP plugin activate OxyProps. Perfect. And looking at my plugins, I now have Metabox, OxyProps, Structeezy, and Bricks installed. The license is inactive for both of them. So let's use the new commands. WP Structeezy activate with your license key and your email. license is activated, and WP OxyProps activate. And if we check, both plugins have their license active. Perfect. So what else can you do? Well, let's imagine, for example, that you have something broken on your site. You have the white screen. You cannot log in anymore. You know that maybe that's one of the last plugin or theme updates. And you know that you need to deactivate the plugins, but you have no way to connect to your admin. Well, from the CLI, you can simply WP plugin, deactivate all, and it's done. All plugins are deactivated. You can now access your site, and then you can activate all, and all of your plugins are now active. Simple way to troubleshoot something. Let's get back to our new website, but the front end this time, and let's discuss database command. My site name is my new site. So maybe something that's always difficult with WordPress is search and replace in the database. Well, with CLI, you can WP search replace, and I will search for my new site, and I want to replace this with my awesome website. And I will start with a dry run. It's searching the database, and it found one replacement to be made. We can see that the replacement is in the options table for the option value. So it's okay for me. I can launch the same command without the dry run. It's done. And if I check my front end and refresh, I'm back with my team. And this time it's my awesome website. Okay, so now let's imagine that I need some posts to work on my site. For now, I have only one, the hello world. So let's go to the posts. Let's clear, and I can WP post generate, and I can give a count of, why not, 100. It's generating the posts, done. And now I have 101 because I had the first hello world post to play with. But if I have a look at it, there's no content. And by the way, you can generate posts, but you can also generate dummy comments. I will let you have a look at the documentation, but it's very similar. What if I wanted to add content? So let's start by deleting all these posts. So you have a WP post delete, and then you give the ID of the post. So let's delete post 1. But I've generated 100 dummy posts. I don't want to delete them one by one. So I can WP post delete. And instead of giving all the IDs one by one, I can, and I have my autocomplete. So let's explain that. I open a subcommand and I call WP post list on the post type post, because the post command works with any post type. It can be a post, a page, or a custom post type. And I want to get my IDs. So this will return the list of all post IDs, and this will give it to the post delete command. Let's run that. And that's it. All my posts are gone. And I will recreate some posts, but with content this time. So to create posts with content, I can use an API to create lorem ipsum, for example. I will use the metaphor-psum API. So I will call the API to create 3 paragraphs with 5 sentences. And using the pipe character, I will pass this result to my command post generate. And let's generate 50 of them. And I will feed the result to my post content. Okay, you see that we start having more complex syntax. The good news is that at the end, you don't have to remember everything. But if you want to create your website blueprint, you can insert all of these commands in a bash script and then execute the script, and everything will be run smoothly. I will place a link to another video I did to create my website blueprints, and maybe I will update this video soon with the latest additions. So let's create our posts. Done. 50 posts created. And of course, my previous post is not found, but now I have the new ones, and let's pick one. And this time I have my post and I have some content to work with, and I can go and do my testing. Okay, so this was post, but maybe let's have a look at all our posts, WP post list. Okay, we can see all of our posts, but we can do the same with WP user list. And for now, I only have the admin user I did create. So maybe, once again, I need users for testing, so I can WP user generate, and I want 10 users, and they will be created with the default role. That's it. 10 users created, and now I have users to work with for my testing. If I want to change the role for one of them, I can do so with WP user set role, and I will take user 3, for example, and make them an administrator. It's done. If I check my list, my user 3 is now my user ID 3 is now an administrator. I can also delete users. So let's delete this administrator. I didn't give a parameter, so as you know, when we delete user, we need to reassign assets. So that's what I'm asked. And similar as the post, I don't want to delete one by one. So WP user delete, and I will give the user list, and I will delete all my subscribers and reassign to user 1 my admin. And it's done. I only have my admin user back. You can also work on users' capabilities. For example, if you create your script to install your Bricks website blueprint, you need to give capabilities to be able to execute script and to be able to upload SVG. This is feasible from the command line. It's not Bricks command line command, but you use WP cap for capabilities, add, and I want to add to the administrator role the capabilities Bricks execute code and Bricks upload SVG. Let's execute, and I have two capabilities added to my administrator role. I can now execute code and upload SVGs on my Bricks website. Let's continue with the database. Maybe if you are managing website for clients, you need to back up your database. So you need to log in to PHP My Admin and create a backup, or using any plugin. Well, if you use the CLI, you can simply WP db export, and I will export to dbbackup.sql, and it's done. My database is exported. As I didn't give an output, it did create the file in my current directory, and you can see that my database is there. I can pick the file and re-import it on another site with WP db import dbbackup.sql, and it's done. My database was successfully re-imported. So if you need to backup and restore database, it's extremely easy with the command line. And if you want to, you can even access the database command line, and you will use WP db CLI, and it will open the database command line interface using your WordPress database credentials. So now I'm using MariaDB on my local environment site. So I'm logged in on the current WordPress site database. And just to show you it works, I can show tables, for example, and I have the tables available in my WordPress database. And of course, you can execute any SQL command. Let's, for example, select star from, and let's pick our options table, where the option name is like, and let's pick our blog name option. And I get the result. My blog name is my awesome website. Let's type, no, that's not key, that's exit to exit the CLI, and we are back to our command line. So that's it. And maybe to finish with some more advanced features, with WP CLI, you can scaffold many things. You can get a blueprint for a plugin, for a theme, for a child theme. So let's start, for example, because I did not install Bricks child theme. Let's WP Scaffold, and we will create a child theme that we will call Bricks child. The parent theme will be Bricks. And let's check what was done. Going to our backend, check appearance, themes. Okay, I could have activated it from the CLI, but we now have our Bricks child theme that I can activate. And if we want to create a new theme, let's say we want to make something completely custom for a client, we can WP Scaffold, and I will use underscore. Maybe you know or you don't know underscore. Underscore is a famous blueprint for creating WordPress themes. So I will name it my theme, and I will use Sass, for example. So I will use Sassify, and I want to activate it directly. And of course, I need to use, because it's the slug I'm creating, so lowercase, my theme. And let's have a look. I now have a new theme, my theme. If we check front end, of course, there's absolutely no style in it. Everything needs to be done, but it's functional. We can go to the sample page. We can go through posts. And if you're curious and want to know what's inside of it, well, let's open it in the editor. And I have a complete blueprint that I can use to start creating my new theme. And that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned some things. I hope you want to use WP CLI now and that it will help you be more efficient in your day-to-day job. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video.